Happy Sunday to you. It's Sarah from Funky Fossil here, back with another weekly episode of Crafty Makes and Inspiration. It's that time of the week when we want to just slow down and enjoy a bit of creative time. And this week, I've got a really cute little project that I wanted to share with you. It's going to be using our Matchbox dies. I have a handful of these left, these fantastic kind of dies that make a decent sized matchbox, and literally each of the both the box and the outer sleeve, each of those can be cut on a piece of A5, so they're fine if you've got an A5 size die cutting machine. What I want to do with my matchbox is make a little matchbook notebook that will go inside. So I've got a template here, and this will be a free download in a link underneath this video. And I've done both a blank template for our cover, for our notebook cover, and also I have used some of our summer twilight papers to provide you with two patterned versions. But of course, when you've got the blank template, you'll be able to use those with any papers that you have. And if you have the summer twilight digital collection, you'll be able to create this notebook in any of those designs. I just thought it'd be quite nice to give you something already kind of patterned in order to be able to craft along with me. So the download for that should be in the description box below. And what that will create, and this is just my kind of very rough prototype, what that will create will be this little kind of notebook or kind of matchbook cover like this, that we'll be able to add pages to, and we can either add them to create a mini concertina journal or add them as individual pages to make a notebook. I haven't got anything stuck down, so I'm just holding it for now. And I thought it'd be really nice to use as a closure on the front of our notebook cover one of our MDF leaves, because I think that kind of works with the autumnal vibe of this project. So for example, we can put a leaf on the front, and that will both hold the pages in and also provide a kind of a bit of a nice closure that will keep our cover in place. So that's the idea. Really simple to do. You've got the raw materials. If you don't have our Matchbox dies, then that's absolutely fine. You just make a cute gift or a little journal in its own right. But obviously I've sized it to ensure that it does fit into our Matchbox. So if you wanted to create that as a little gift for somebody, maybe put a little pencil in with it, then that will work as well. So I'm hoping, if I've got time in the video today, we'll also decorate the outside of the box. But I'm not going to spend a whole heap of time on the Matchbox. This is more about the Matchbook. I'm going to get confused between those two words. And this is really easy to make. So we shall make a start, and I'll show you how it goes together. Firstly, in terms of the Matchbox, I've cut a few of them just out of different kind of plain cardstocks. The inside literally just folds in. It's the die provides you with the score lines and the notches, so it literally folds. I haven't used any glue on this. This just kind of holds its own shape. The outer sleeve, as you can see, folds really easily, and it just has a kind of slight tab on this on one of the sides, which you just stick down, and you've got a cover made. So you could do these out of your pattern papers or cardstock. You could do them out of plain cardstock and then decorate them, which is what I'm thinking I'm more likely to do today. Lots and lots of options to customize this for the project or the recipient or the kind of the look that you're going for. So let's just wait for that glue to grab, and that will hold itself in place, as we've got here with this one in the kind of burgundy card. So that's as much of a tutorial as you need in terms of putting a matchbox together. And what I've done ahead of time with the matchbook is I've printed it out. I printed this out onto 120 GSM paper, because I have then stuck it onto plain cardstock and then cut that out, just so that the notebook cover is going to have a bit more stability and be a bit more sturdy. So it obviously, you can see it's a very easy shape to cut out, so I have glued it down and cut it out. And the nice thing about that will mean if you use, for example, a patterned paper, etc., on the inside, then when you fold this up, you're not going to have plain white. But I wanted to just go for the plain cardstock on these versions. So that's all been done ahead of time, and hopefully you can see that I've put the lines in on the notebook template for you to fold and score. So this is that way up, actually. So this is the kind of the front flap that provides the kind of the way of holding the cover in. So you won't need many supplies. You just need a kind of bone folder, really. You could use your scoring board to really make a nice crisp line here. I haven't got that to hand, so I'm going to just fold this by eye. And with the laser print, it may well crack a little bit. The paper may, or the print may crack a little bit when it's kind of scored down. So I'm just going to probably use some distress ink, etc., just to kind of go with that whole shabby look of this, because obviously we're going for something slightly aged and vintage. So if I do get any cracks with my fold lines, then the distress ink will just kind of blend that out for me. So first, trying to do this so I can see and not put my head in the way. So I've got my first fold line here. I'm just using my bone folder. And the other thing, the reason you may find it useful to use your inks, etc., is if you feel your lines are a little bit visible. So obviously you've got the print lines there from the template. So that's our first small fold, which is going to be the front of our book. And then we've got a bit more room at the top here. I'm just going to get the first line in. It's really hard to do from this angle. I do like to give myself a challenge. Again, just scoring that to give it a nice crisp finish. And another. And I've made this notebook covers relatively bulky because obviously I've added 120 GSM. It's probably something that their cardstock is probably about 250 GSM, so that's made it quite sturdy. If you're using anything thinner, it will it obviously won't be as challenging to fold, but that's how it looks. So it's empty, as you can see here, but you've got your nice details around where the printed paper is. It has that nice cardstock on the inside, which if we decide to go with this Matchbox, then that will all coordinate nicely. And now we're just going to have to think about what we're going to put inside our matchbook cover, and also a few decorative elements on the outside. So hopefully that's got you up and running with your outside of your notebook. Let's see what we can do to make the inside really fun and interesting. So I've made up 2 of my little matchbook covers now, and I think these are just so dinky, so cute. And what I've done while I was off camera is just heat emboss some of the MDF buttons. I used our Coppermine embossing powder on these. giving a kind of speckled vintagey look, and I used Verdant on this, but I don't know if I've got any Verdant left. You might have to look in the store to see if there's any of that embossing powder still available. So we can add them to the front of our little notebooks. I'm thinking I'd probably go with the oak leaf on this one with the blackberries, and I'll probably add the kind of the maple leaf to the front of the outer cover of the Matchbox once I've decorated it. So these are great little embellishments, and they really kind of add another level to your notebooks. Now you've got options around what you might want to put inside them and how you might want to use them. I've got a couple of those options here just to share with you. So the size of the pages that I've created for this particular notebook are 7.5 centimeters high by 4.5 centimeters wide. So they are really cute and as I say, dinky. And I have done a concertina where I have just cut 4.5 centimeter strips out of cardstock, scored them at the 7.5 centimeter line, and then obviously adhered them together to make that longer strip. And once I've decorated this, I will adhere it into the base of my notebook, and then it will have a kind of a fold out aspect to it. So that's how I think I'm going to fill this particular one. The other one, what I thought I'd do is I've cut some strips which are 4.5 centimeters by 15 centimeters, so kind of a double page. Obviously scored those down the middle to make little folios, and I'm going to just adhere them or bind them effectively around, down the side here with some washi tape. You could add more pages to your little book. Obviously just work with it within the scale of the cover. So let's see if we get this down on our surface. Make sure that our pages are squared off. Just stick them round about the middle. We can put the tape on one side and then just fold it over. I hope that the tape's made contact across all four of the little folios. So just squishing that all together and trimming it at the top and bottom. There's the excess washi tape. You can do this a lot more neatly and do it actually better when it's open. And then when you can see here, when you're kind of working in your book, it'll lie quite nice and flat, and give you nice little pages to work with. And if you want to create a cover for the front, so you're not seeing the washi tape necessarily, you're not seeing as much of it, just cut another page to that same size and you can adhere it over the front. Now I wouldn't necessarily adhere this one into my book. I think I'd probably, my matchbook cover, I probably would just keep it in there and put some twine around it rather than sticking it in. But you could stick it in. You've got choices. See how you feel about that one. But I like that, and I think I will do little mini collages in a book that size. I think that's really sweet. So say, there's that option. The other option, which I haven't got prepped here, but you could cut out small pages of 7.5 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters at normal notebook paper, and obviously put them in there, and you could what's the word? Pierce holes in this flap at the front to sew through to hold your notebook pages in place, so it becomes then a kind of almost a notebook where you might make little shopping lists or things that you just want to have in your bag and be able to jot down. So that's another way of making it an actual notebook rather than what I'm doing here, which is almost kind of mini art journals. So lots of ways of then filling your notebook cover. And what I think I'm going to do, just really to speed it up time, is decorate this concertina with a bit of collage, and some mark making, some stencils, but I'll just speed it up, and I may not do all of it, but just to give you a feel for kind of how that will come together. The other thing you'll probably see in the final kind of image of the finished project is I will also do some collage and decorate the outer cover of the Matchbox, so that we're able to keep all of it together, the notebook within the Matchbox container. So I'm going to get some inks and bits and bobs out. The joy of something like this is, of course, all your little scraps are going to just be perfect for a project like this. And I've got scraps off to my side here from the collage we did last week, which was that on that autumn theme, and it did feature these papers. So if I then use those remaining scraps to collage in here, then that will coordinate really lovely with the cover. So as I say, I'm going to gather some supplies and we'll have a very quick journaling session. So I'm going to speed this part of the video up because it really is just about me having a bit of a play and a bit of fun in the mini concertina journal that's going to go into my matchbook cover. So you can see here I've got it all kind of folded out and unfolded. It's only 4.5 centimeters wide, so it's a really kind of nice little neat strip to just have a play and a doodle on. So I've got some crayons, I've got some gesso, I've got some paints, I've got some very teeny tiny scraps left over from the collage we've been doing. I've got pencil. What else have I got? I've got some inks, etc. So I'm just going to make some marks, get some colour down, and see where I go with it. So I'm not going to talk you through the process particularly, just hopefully gives you an idea of how I might get started when I'm doing some journaling on a bigger page. This is just regular cardstock, by the way. I think it's 300 GSM, but it's not a mixed media cardstock or watercolor cardstock. So again, it isn't necessarily designed for this kind of work, but because it's quite thick and heavyweight, I think it will take the kind of journaling I'm going to be doing. The final thing I was going to mention that I've got to hand is a couple of stencils. And look how dirty these are, right old state. Just the stencils that I actually have next to me. So I've got a couple of the little A7 ones as well. Again, I may use them, I may not, but that's what I've got next to me, and so that's what I'm most likely to reach for. And when you start something, a journal page, I think it's best if you kind of try and decide on your colour scheme and then not overwhelm yourself with supplies. You can always let the journal page rest and then come back to it later and add things that you feel are missing. But if you have everything out in front of you from the minute you start, sometimes it can just be quite hard to get going. So that's what I'm going to do now. This will be, I say, sped up, and I hope it will make some kind of sense. So I hope you enjoy it. Just popping in then with the finished make, just to walk you through how it's all come together. Obviously I've decorated, as you can see, the matchbox itself with the kind of the summer twilight papers and other bits and bobs that I had on hand. And then inside we've got a finished matchbook, and I've put the button, that was the leaf button, on the front. And then if we undo the twine, which is holding all of this together, I have to find a better way of undoing that. I'll just show you the concertina inside. So we've got the last flowers of summer, we've got our summer twilight papers there, and then you saw me put this this kind of easy, fun mini art journal together. I paused where I was cutting out and gathering bits and bobs to do the collage elements, and of course then I had to wait for the matte medium to dry, so I've just skipped that one short section of the process of putting the little journal together, but the rest of it I think you saw in sped up time. So I hope you enjoyed watching how that came together. I hope you are going to download your free matchbook covers and have a go yourself, whether you decide to make just a little notebook, whether you decide to make a mini art journal as I have. I think it's a really fun little project that just is a nice way of using up your scraps and yeah, spending a little bit of time being creative. Do remember that the Matchbox die, we're really at the last of the stock there, so if you do want to make a project that combines those two, then you need to click on the link in the description box below and jump across to grab that. Thank you as always for your time this Sunday. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. It's given you some ideas, and we shall be back again next week with some more inspiration. But in the meantime, have a fabulous day, fabulous week, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye for now.